We are coming to you from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball as Jose Abreu, Javi Garcia, Melky Cabrera, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Kendrys Morales, Mike Moustakas, and the division-leading Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Ken Harrelson with Steve Stone as we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set and the finale of this six-game road trip. As you know, we started off with 3 in Minnesota. They won the first 2 games there. We won the finale. Then we came in here. We were 0-6 this year in this ballpark, and we won the first 2 games of this series. And actually, the first 2 games have been sort of lopsided.
There's no doubt. If you look at the numbers, you'll realize why the Sox have won. And this is one of the things the Sox were trying to do all year. You look at the runs, well, very lopsided. The home runs, certainly in the same area. The hits, the runners in scoring position, that's an important stat. 10 for 22 is terrific. Starters ERA .56 for our Sox. 7.82 for the Royals. So the Royals, well, maybe they're not quite as intense the first couple of games, but there's outstanding defense being played by our Sox. Something that was envisioned all year long is Melky throws a perfect throw to the plate, and they cut down a would-be score. Gordon Beckham with an outstanding play up the middle. Javi's playing a strong right field. Great play by Trace Thompson. And Alexei's had a magnificent shortstop in this series. So hopefully more of the same as they try to sweep Kansas City. But it's going to be a little tougher today with Eric Johnson going to the mound.
Well, he was the International Pitcher of the Year. He's a guy who should be in the big leagues. 2 years ago, of course, he was 4-3 up here. Really looked good. Then last year struggled a bit, but this year got it back together again.
Well, there's no doubt it was a magnificent bounce-back year, but it was in the minor leagues, and Eric has something to prove to himself. You look at the numbers at 11-8, 2.37 ERA, and 22 starts in AAA. The International League Pitcher of the Year. So when you have an ERA like that, you're throwing the ball like he threw it all year. You're hoping that it translates into the major leagues. Johnny Cueto going to the mound, and he was exceptional with Cincinnati. You look at the 19 starts, the 7-6 record. They didn't have much of a team, but he had a 2.62 ERA. With the Royals, on the other hand, 2-4 with an ERA of 4.21, and Cueto has not been the pitcher they thought he would be. Now they're looking to him to be the #1 starter in the playoffs. The question is, can he secure that role?
All right, we are looking to sweep these guys, so sit back, relax, and strap it down because White Sox baseball's coming your way.
Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. Audi, truth in engineering. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by Toyota. The annual clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to beautiful Kauffman Stadium, and this is the way baseball should be played. It's hot, it's humid, it's a very sticky day, but a day with a whole lot of sunshine, and the wind very much a factor as it swirls around the ballpark. So Kansas City comes into this one 12 games ahead of Minnesota. Our Sox 17.5 games back, and the Sox, winners of 3 in a row, looking to sweep the series here in Kansas City. Something doesn't happen very often. So let's take a look at the Sox starting pitching, and it's been fairly remarkable this year. Innings, they're first. Quality starts, they're second. They're always 1 or 2 in quality starts. Strikeouts, they're second. Strikeouts per 9 innings, they're second. And complete games, they're tied for third. And so when you figure Eric Johnson is the 8th pitcher to start a game this year for the Sox, that's tied for the second fewest in the major leagues, you realize that pretty much the same guys have done it all year long. They've stayed healthy. That's something that's happened to the White Sox of recent vintage, the fact that they seem to stay healthier than most clubs. That gives them some hope that their starting pitchers will be ready to go when this team is put together and ready to win. And so we'll take a look at how Robin is going to line up our Sox for the game this afternoon. Adam Eaton is leading it off, and he has been red hot lately. As you see the last 6 games, he's hitting everything in sight, hitting an even 500. That's Alexi Ramirez, who's also been red hot. Jose Abreu, the DH today, with Melky Cabrera, Abisail Garcia, Adam LaRoche. Mike Olt is getting his first start as a member of the Chicago White Sox. He's playing third base. Rob Brantley will start behind the plate because he undoubtedly caught a whole lot of Eric Johnson's games. He's very familiar with his stuff. Carlos Sanchez playing second base and hitting 9th. The defense and how they'll line up behind Johnny Cueto. Paulo Orlando's in left field, Jared Dyson in center, then Ben Zobrist in right. In the infield, Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar, Omar Infante, and Kendrys Morales playing first base in place of Eric Hosmer, which is somewhat unusual. Salvador Perez once again behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Johnny Cueto. This is 8th start with the Royals. He's 2-4. His ERA 4.21 with them. Only 5 walks and 34 strikeouts in 47 innings, just not throwing the ball near as well as he's thrown it as a member of the Cincinnati Reds, where he was absolutely dominant over the last 7 years. The umpires for the game this afternoon: Ron Culpa behind the plate, the crew chief Larry Vanover's at first base, Brian Knight is at second, and Vic Carapazza is at third. So the Sox, who have done a whole lot on offense, played exceptional defense. The starting pitching has been brilliant, looking for more of the same here this afternoon as they go for the sweep. And Adam Eaton comes strolling up to the plate as they throw the ball around the infield, which means we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So I hope you can join us for the finale of this 3-game set and this 6-game homestand. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon at our place against the Cleveland Indians. But before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. As here is Adam Eaton, 5 for 10 in the series with a homer and 3 RBIs, and the first pitch of the ball game is high and wide. Outfield for the most part straight up. Bit of a gap out there in right center. And the 29-year-old right-hander there is a shot into left field. And when a guy's been struggling like Cueto has, get a guy come up and rip a base hit to start off the ball game. That's always nice.
Cueto comes in throwing 178 innings, and so it could very well be that if not running out of gas, he probably is suffering from what a lot of starting pitchers do suffer from, and that's a bit of a tired arm for a bit before it bounces back.
So here's Alexei, 6 for 9 with a homer and 5 RBIs in the first 2 games. And last night he had a big one.
Last night a 3-run home run, a rolling breaking ball in the 4th inning, and that was the blow that put the Sox on top. It was a scoreless game at that point.
And that ball hit high and deep. Stretch, stretch, stretch. That's off the top of the wall. So Adam Eaton was at second base and just missed a 2-run homer.
You take a look at the fastball. It was inside, out of the strike zone. Orlando goes up as high as he can go up. This one just misses, leaving the ballpark. And I mean misses by an eyelash. So what was almost 2-0 now puts runners at second and third, nobody out.
His 26th two-bagger, and that'll bring up Abreu. Jose, 3 for 8 in the series with a homer, a long home run. Outfielder straight up, spaced about equidistant. And that pitch inside.
Last 3, Jose, just like the rest of his offense, have been red hot. And the fact that he's taking his walks means that he's seeing the ball very well.
Had a good rip at that one, just underneath it. Abreu has faced Cueto 4 times, has 1 hit, and it was a home run. And there's a base hit in the hole. So here comes Adam. Elects the end of third, and it is a 1-0 ball game. Runners at the corners and nobody out.
That was a straight change, and unfortunately for Cueto, unfortunately for Jose, he got it up. Even though it was on the inside part of the plate. High changeups don't do very well, and that was another high changeup that didn't do very well.
So here's Cabrera. Milwaukee 2 for 10 in the series. Sox come in hitting at .253 as a team. And there is a strike on the outside corner. Milwaukee 5 for 14 lifetime off Johnny Cueto. Fastball at 91. Now the huge crowd on hand. Checks it up.
Well, right now he's got no command whatsoever. Nothing is down in the zone. Everything he's thrown has been up. Most of it, if it's been in the zone, it's been very hittable. And as you can see, the last 3 starts, he's gotten hammered. 0-3 with an ERA of just about 8.5.
3-1. In the open here on Friday, we had 36,953. Last night, 37,827. They're averaging 33,339. Foul tips. And when we started this road trip, we were coming to 2 parks where we had a composite record of 1-12. We were 1-6 at Target Field and 0-6 here.
All in all, a very good road trip to this point. Could be a great road trip with a victory today. That was the first straight change that Cueto has gotten down and actually made a pretty good pitch with.
And that will load him up. So with the sacks packed with Sox, let's check out our picks to click. Jim Angio, our director of cool, and Mike Leary and Dave Ross, with Garcia. Steve's going with Melky Cabrera and Mike Mazza and his crew. Penny Wiz, Tom Eichstadt, Pete Catazon, Laura Arenas, Mary Weiss, Nick Bristow, Charles Johnson. We're going to go with the newcomer, Mike Olt. Here's Avi. 3 for 9 with a big hit. And that's a base hit by Escobar, so that's going to score a pair. Now Avi will make a big, hard turn, go back in the first. Cabrera at third, and it's 3-0 Sox. Avi may have had the biggest hit of the series. That was in game 1.
RBIs 55 and 56. It looked for a moment like Escobar was going to be able to make this play. But the ball seems to accelerate by him. And runners at the corners, nobody out. And Avi continues to hit the ball hard.
So here's LaRoche. Adam at 213, 12 long ones, and 43 driven in. He's had a tough time against Cueto. Has faced him 18 times, has 2 hits. Pops him up. Moustakas. One out. And here's Mike Olt. Making his first appearance in a Sox uniform. Former high draft choice. Came in with a lot of pub. Can't get it. Come on, guys. We got to get this run in. That's a big run out there at third base.
Fastballs weren't overpowering, but in a pretty good locations, both of them down and away.
Two down.
Menard's pitch tracks will show you that fastball, all of them in pretty decent spots. That last one, pretty good pitch to hit. He didn't want it there, but he threw it by it.
Well, he's pulling off the ball. It's hard to hit what you can't see. So here is Brantley. And he takes first pitch strike that was just off the plate.
Brantley does have 1 hit in 1 at bat against Cueto. There's a look at what he did in the minor leagues. Pretty good.
He got some pop. We saw that at batting practice in Minneapolis. And the count 2-1. Three and one. Carlos Sanchez on deck. So Brantley, the 8th Sox hitter to come to the plate here in the top of the first inning if you're just tuning in. Full count.
That when he cut on the inside corner and got it high and in. That fastball is not overwhelming. This one he took a little something off at 89. Had it moving into Brantley and he fouled it.
Payoff pitch. But crooked number goes up on that board, and after having a play, we lead at 3-0.
City's Escobar against our Sox. He's been pretty good this year. That's Ben Zobrist, Mike Moustakas, Kendrys Morales, Alex Gordon, Salvador Perez getting a start behind the plate. Paulo Orlando, Omar Infante, and Jared Dyson rounding it out. The defense and how they'll line up behind Eric Johnson, Melky Cabrera, Adam Eaton, Abisail Garcia in the outfield. Then it's Oak, Ramirez, Sanchez, and LaRoche in the infield with Rob Brantley behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Eric Johnson. There you look at the 22 starts he had at Charlotte. He was brilliant. ERA 237. 3 games over 500. And 136 strikeouts and 132 and 2/3 innings. So he's trying to show it here to the Kansas City Royals. What he showed a couple of years ago to us and the organization, he wants to reprove.
First pitch strike to Escobar. Now CD's hitting at 262, 3 homers, 41 driven in. He's 3 for 8 in this series. Outfield short and round to the right. Royals hitting at 272 as a team with a 3.64 ERA, and they don't strike out much.
Eric is on the extreme first base side of the rubber, thinking he probably gets a little better angle for that fastball into the right-handers, and especially for his slider and breaking ball away to the right-hander.
2-2. And here at Kauffman Stadium, 330 down the lines, 387 in the gaps, and 410 straight away center. Another jam-packed house. Fastball at 94.
We're probably going to see that fastball get up a mile or two as he starts to get loose and confident. So far we've seen a couple of pretty good sliders.
That ball's hit softly into left center field.
We'd like to welcome all of our viewers watching on Mahaska Communications in Oskaloosa, Iowa.
Ben Zobrist playing right field this afternoon. He was the second baseman in Game 1. 34-year-old veteran takes first pitch strike.
It's a big advantage of trading for Zobrist, is you can pretty much play him anywhere, and he's going to give you a very good performance. Since putting on that KC uniform, he's hitting .336. Overall, .292.
Well, he's already had some big hits for this ball club. Yeah, there's a chopper to Harper. 2 down. So here's Moustakas. 281, 15 long ones, and 59 driven in, and he takes first pitch strike.
Eric's working quickly and throwing strikes. That's usually the recipe for success.
Change up, way out in front. Same motion, good motion. Moustakas came in to hit last night. Play that could have turned that ball game around. He just killed it. Yeah, he gone. And that'll retire the side. So a nice 1-2-3 for Eric Johnson.
In the game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
And once again, a reminder, tomorrow we're back at U.S. Sailor as our Chris Sale and our Sox will try to make one more push for the playoffs as they face Cleveland. Now coverage begins at 12:30 with White Sox pregame live presented by Orland Park Toyota right here on CSN Chicago. Carlos Sanchez, ninth place hitter, to lead it off. Sox with 3 runs in the top of the first.
Great way to start against a guy that's really been struggling, forcing him to continue those struggles. Remember, after this game today, we come home. We've got a day game tomorrow against Cleveland, celebrating Labor Day. And then 2 more with the Indians before an off day. Minnesota comes to town for 3, and then it's Oakland for 4. Then it's off to the final road trip of the year. 3-city trip, Cleveland, Detroit, and New York.
3-0. Go help him out. Carlos hitting at .234, 3 homers, 25 knocked in. Full count. Cueto will vary his motion and quick pitch you.
He did it that time. He didn't go into the usual turn the back to the hitter type move. He just came straight at him.
Last 2 pitches he's done it. He will do it.
See almost a slide step used without a runner on. That's most unusual for pitchers.
There it is again, and that ball hit sharply, but fine. 1 out.
Sox trying to buck the trend. Johnny Cueto, during the daytime, for whatever reason, has been exceptional. 28-7 over the last couple of years with a 2.02 ERA in 46 daytime outings. This one didn't start out particularly well for him.
So here's Adam. He started off at 3-run first with a bullet into left field, and he takes that. Way good movement, change up off the plate. Two and 0. And that ball hits sharply. Takes a nice Cantini bounce right there for him for 2 outs.
You would have thought that was a replay. That looked exactly like the ball at Sanchez. He had a rocket to the left of Infante, and he made both plays. But this doesn't bode well for Johnny Cueto, as our guys are right on everything he's throwing.
Here's Alexei. Just missed a 2-run homer. High off the left field fence. Takes first pitch strike. Got a double.
Including today's game, which is 1 at bat. The last 8, 552. With a home run, 6 driven in, 10 scored, and 6 multi-hit games, including a 4-hit game.
And that's going to be a base hit. The ball had a lot of spin on it. Infante tried to barehand it.
That should be yet another multi-hit game. And Alexei continues his red-hot hitting. This time Infante just overran the ball as the ball took a backspin on him. He thinks it's going to be to his left. Instead, it bounces back to his right. He can't barehand it.
Here's Abreu. He had an RBI single and scored a run. Takes first pitch strike. Alexei 16 for 21 in stolen bases. Good pitch, ate him up. And that'll retire the side. So we go to the bottom of the second, leading 3-0.
includes 4 upper box game tickets, 4 hot dog value meals, and a parking pass. Braille 4-packs are available now for all remaining Monday through Thursday games. Visit whitesox.com/Abreu to order yours today.
Three nothing good guys here in the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Morales, Gordon, and Perez to face Eric Johnson.
This is one of the big gambles for Dayton Moore that paid off. Bringing Morales over, letting probably Billy Butler, one of their most popular players, go, and Morales has been terrific.
Drops a hook on him. Morales hitting at .293, 17 homers and 99. As that's a high pop up in the left. Melky fighting that sun, stays with it, makes the catch.
Well, that was a tough play because that one he lost almost immediately, even with the glasses down and the glove up to shield the sun. He was able to stay with it long enough to make the catch. I'm not sure if he really saw the ball. I think he put his glove exactly where he thought the ball would be, and lo and behold, that's exactly where it wound up. He really battled.
You got to find a way to get an angle. If you do, you can make the play. If you don't, you got a problem. Alex Gordon at .288, 11 homers, 42 driven in. Oh. 1-1 to count. Another pop up. Alexei hurrying over there now to try to help Mike Holt out, who stays with it, makes a catch.
That's
2 down.
A straight change from Eric Johnson, and well, so far he's changing speeds, he's changing eye angle, he's throwing the fastball down, he's throwing it up. This was an 83-mile-an-hour straight change. He had Gordon well out on the front foot, and another battle with the sun. This time won by 0.
Here's Salvador Perez, .254, 18 homers and 57 knocked in. Takes that breaking ball strike.
His first time through the order, much to the advantage of Eric, and he's working quickly and getting the ball over the plate.
That ball hit high and deep, right center field. And it's a 3-1 ball game. They didn't cancel the post-game show.
19th home run, 58th driven in. It was a pleasure in last night's game to see Salvador Perez getting the night off, but you knew if he got last night off, he would be playing today. So a 4th home run replay. This is a high fastball, and Perez was able to get on top of it and hit it the opposite way. And what a player he is.
Paulo Orlando will be the hitter, hitting at .250, 6 homers, 23 driven in.
It's going to be a very lively ballpark today. This is never an easy park to hit home runs, but this is about as easy as it'll get.
Yeah, the wind blowing hard from left, I should say from right to left. There they are.
Better throw some ground balls today. Ground balls or pop-ups.
That's into right field. Obvious there. Makes the catch. That'll retire the side. But the 19th home for Salvador Perez. We're into the 3rd. Leading 3-1.
use hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan, you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Cabrera, Garcia, and LaRoche. Melky threw a walk back in the first inning. Oh, he was all over it, but underneath it.
That was a rolling breaking ball. That one didn't have a lot of bite to it. And unfortunately for Melky, he swung just under it.
Gap out there in right center. 2-1. "92 degrees at game time. It's hotter than that down in that field.
98 with very, very heavy humidity.
Two and two. There's a little quick pitch.
Now you got to be ready. If you're in the batter's box with Cueto, you got to be ready to swing, because you never really know when he's going to try to quick pitch you, or he's going to turn his back to you and slow pitch you.
Ball hit hard in the hole, so a good way to start.
Sox fans, Saturday, September 12th is halfway to St. Patrick's Day, presented by Miller Lite. First 20,000 fans ages 21 and over will receive an White Sox Irish flat cap, so be sure to stay after the game for a fireworks display. Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner and official beer of your Chicago White Sox. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com/SPD.
And we got to make sure our 3 men in kilts get one of those flat caps. As here is Avi. Had a 2-run single in the first inning. Just a bullet by Escobar short. One and one to count.
Lately, that's a spot where they've been trying to throw Avi. However, if they miss on that fastball just about any other place, he's hitting it awfully hard.
Lays off that one. Well, he's going to be a joy, an absolute joy to watch develop and grow. He just turned 24 years old.
A world of potential for him, and this being his first full major league season.
Flips a breaking ball up there and grabs a strike with it. Full count.
That's the career numbers, knocking at the door at 270.
And that's ball 4. So the first 2 men aboard, and that'll bring up Adam, who's popped up to Moustakas.
And the fact that there's 2 on, nobody out means they're able to shift, but not quite as radically as they normally do with Adam LaRoche. Escobar is right behind Cabrera at second base.
Come on, Adam. Take him in the left center field. Plus, you got a big, big hole over there. Or just rip one in the right in the hole. Now they're going to wave Melky around as Zobrist drops the ball. That'll be an error on him. Melky scores and it's a 4-1 Sox lead with Avi in the third.
I don't think that's going to be charged as a run batted in, because had Zobrist come up with the ball cleanly, it appears that Melky would have been stopped at third. He is ruling a single run batted in.
Well, you were right. We'll take it, though.
He was going to stop right there, and then as soon as Joe McEwing saw that that ball was fumbled, he said, "Go on, Melky."
Mike Holt saw 3 pitches. His first at bat. Swung at all of them. And couldn't make contact. 1-1 to count. Hey, that incident with Bryce Harper the other day, that was absolutely amazing. Saw 20 pitches, did not swing at one of them, walked 4 times and scored 4 runs. Mike's going to have to do something to shorten that swing up. One out. So here's Brantley. He struck out. We've already left 1 man at third back in the first inning with less than 2 outs. Let's don't do it again. Yanks that one foul. I don't know what the numbers would say, but I'd be shocked if we weren't leading the league in that category.
If anybody can find it, it's Dave Ross.
He's very good at what he does. Dave Ross is, and has been for a long time.
Good straight change. After throwing a fastball in on his hands, he threw a straight change down and out of the zone. Salvador Perez, as he usually does, is equal to the task at blocking the ball.
The 0-2 pitch. That's going to be souvenir time. High and wide. Just did get a piece of it. Ball jumped up and bit him.
I would say biting him would be one description. Right now, walking a little gingerly, as you would expect.
Ain't it growing?
Yeah, that's not good. He'll be singing soprano in the choir for a while as Hermie comes out to, if not take a look at it, certainly ask him how he's doing.
So 1 out, runners at the corners, 1-2 the count.
That's a whole lot of pitches, 65, and you're not out of the third.
25 this inning. Close.
That fastball at 95 to Rob Brantley. Brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go. So Cueto reached back, got a little something extra, but it was not in the zone.
That'll get the job done. Zobrist getting in shape. I don't know for what. But that's just a terrible throw.
Well, that's a couple of bad throws in the same series, and I'm not sure exactly what is happening with Kansas City because they usually don't make these kind of mistakes. We saw one from Lorenzo Cain in center field where his rainbow throw allowed 2 runners to move up. This time, another rainbow throw allowed 1 runner to move up.
That is very, very Kansas City like. Don't stop now. Make him pay, Carlos, as he takes a strike. Pick up LaRoche shot there. Make him pay for that bad throw.
First run batted in for Rob Brantley.
Oh, 0-2. And another foul ball. That one in the mezzanine.
What the first inning and this inning is pretty much guaranteed is that one way or the other, Cueto will not be around all that long. And they're going to have to go to that pen relatively early in this one.
Well, the one thing they do have to watch out for. Again, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And that is just because they have that 12-game lead does not mean they can play sloppy baseball and then all of a sudden turn the switch back on.
And Minnesota comes in for 3 right after this. Then they go on a 3-city road trip: Baltimore, Cleveland, and Detroit.
Five, 7-0 for us, 1-1 and 0 for them, which should be 2 up there. One of commission and one of omission.
red hot day in mid-America. And a few clouds in the sky, but very few.
And that one fouled away. And that one in the upper deck.
Good battle by Carlos, forcing the pitch count ever higher. A rate to deliver number 74. In this, the 7th pitch of the at bat.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Right here, Carlos. Carlos getting tired of swinging the bat. Forget about Cueto.
I thought that is as tired as Johnny Cueto is going to be getting here pretty soon. This is the 9th pitch of the at bat.
Takes it up, full count. Adam Eaton on deck.
Chris Young loosening up. The 6'10" right-hander.
And that'll retire the side, but we put a pair on the board. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, leading 5-1. Throughout the season, we're bringing you the most Bears programming, including Bears Recap on Mondays, Bears Huddle on Wednesdays, Bears Blitz on Thursdays, and the best pre- and post-game coverage in town with Chris Bowden, Lance Briggs, our guy Dan Jiggets, and Jim Miller. So for program schedule information, visit csnchicago.com.
Had a chance to talk with the fine general manager of this Kansas City Royal team, Dayton Moore. He was talking about assembling a baseball team, and of course he learned his craft with the Atlanta Braves and knew how important it was to have, if not the face of your franchise, your best player at any one given time be the guy that wants to win the most. He said it was Chipper Jones in Atlanta. He said here in Kansas City it was George Brett before he got here, and of course he was talking with George because he's a front office advisor.
21 to count to Infante. Jared Dyson on deck.
A lot of work Infante away, and that's actually what he wants to do. He wants to hit that ball away. There's the speedster Dyson, who got the start today.
2-2. A full count. And that's fouled back just underneath us.
Not too many pitches so far. Infante, however, is making him work to lead off the third.
Off the end of the bat. Get over there. He did.
So another thing that Dayton Moore said about his ball club is they had a big advantage because they've raised a lot of their own, and the foundation of this team is homegrown. But he said Eric Hosmer, who is one of the team leaders, was able to get almost an instant simpatico with a lot of the Latino players for the simple reason that his mother was born in Cuba. And as all of them came up together, Salvador Perez came up with him through the minor leagues, and a lot of other Latino players, they came up, and Eric's mother was almost like a mother to them in this country, and it really helped. Salvador Perez, one of the leaders in this team, and has been every place he's gone in this organization, has really helped bring everybody together. They've got a very cohesive clubhouse, and that's one of the reasons why they've been able to do what they have done in not a short period of time, but a pretty good period of time.
You got to have a common bond before you can win. It's just that simple. I don't care how much talent you got. You got to have a common bond. And in the real world, that's becoming more and more important because chemistry is more and more important. In the perfect world, it's terrific if you can raise a group of guys who learn how to win together at the minor league level, come on up and start playing at the big league level. Dyson takes that pitch down low. These guys really, if you're talking about just pure talent, they're not an overly talented club. That's into center field. What they do is they execute well. They play well.
Probably with the exception of this series, because this has not been a sterling moment.
No, well, again, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And they've got a 12-game lead, and he's trying to do a few things here, get some guys some rest. Now, he's going to do that periodically anyway. But a little more so trying to get ready and get everything primed for the playoffs. But again, you have to be careful. We've seen clubs that did that, did it too much, and all of a sudden they got to the playoffs and they were flat.
Everybody assumes that you can just put the hammer down and all of a sudden your team's going to be playing like it did when you were the hottest of your season. And that doesn't always work.
That does not work. Alcides went out to left field. Yes, I mean, look at our club. We've got starting to get guys now that are homegrown for us, which is I love to see. Saladino, Sanchez, Trace Thompson. Young man we're seeing on the mound today.
Also has something to do with the guys that you choose to bring into your club, to go with those homegrown guys and see how they can fit on a ball club. Like Dayton Moore said before the game today, that Kendrys Morales has been absolutely unbelievably good with their younger players, their organizational players. He said he's just been a great guy.
Well, that's one thing that Kenny Williams always thought about when every move he made. What kind of individual is this? Because there for a long time, let's face it, there for a long time, Kenny had to trade for talent because we didn't have anything coming from the minor leagues. Count hangs at 2-2. Two hopper. Nice inning for Eric Johnson. And we're into the fourth, leading 5-1.
Park at the Park at U.S. Cellular Field, presented by Avoderm Natural Pet Foods and Nylabone. For more information, visit whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME. And we got a new pitcher coming in the game, and that is Chris Young. Young at 10-6, his ERA 3.13. He started 16 games. This is going to be his 29th appearance, so he was taken out of the rotation into the bullpen, where he's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's a 36-year-old veteran who's 6'10", weighs 255 pounds, out of Dallas, Texas.
Does not throw overpoweringly hard, but because of his arm angle, he throws a lot of high fastballs by people.
Top of the order here in the top of the fourth, Eaton, Ramirez, and Abreu. Adams been to the plate twice, led off the ball game with a bullet single. Came around to score, started off that 3-run first, and then in the second inning hit a hard ground ball to Infante at second.
Not the best of outings for Johnny Cueto. He went 3 innings, gave up 5 runs on 7 hits, a couple of walks and 4 strikeouts. He appeared to be a tired pitcher, and judging by his last 4 starts, with an ERA now up over 8, you would think that that's the case.
Big gap out there in right center. Adams' face, our little guy's face, their big guy, twice. There's 1 hit, and it was a homer. And another souvenir. Oh, we've seen a lot of foul balls already in the first 3 innings of this game.
Good thing to do if you want to tire out pitcher. Young is from Princeton, where he got his degree. In 4 years, despite playing both basketball and baseball. Pretty good trick.
Bad pitch. Bad pitch, and he calls him out.
Adam probably said to Ron Copley, he's 6'10", not me, because that high curveball would have been a strike on a guy 6'10".
Oh boy. So here's Alexei. He's 2 for 2. Just missed a 2-run homer in the first. Got a double out of it. One ball, one strike, one out. Just tuning in, Sox with 3 in the first, 2 in the third. Their run came on a home run by Perez in the second. That's into right field. Should be a can of corn. 2 down, and that'll bring up Abreu, who was 1 for 2. An RBI single and a run scored. Two and 0 the count. Tomorrow afternoon, first of that 10-game homestand.
Your sale is going for our guys.
Indians in town for 3, off day on Thursday. Minnesota for 3, and then Oakland for 4. There's a strike, and the count's 3-1. And we go off on a final road trip of the season. 3 in Detroit. I checked it. 3 in Cleveland, 3 in Detroit, 4 in the Bronx. Full count. That's high into center field. Dyson. So the 6'10" right-hander, an easy 1-2-3 inning, and we still lead it by 4.
It's accessible from the 100, 300, and 500 levels. Young Sox fans can learn baseball fundamentals from Chicago White Sox Training Academy coaches. The space features batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and more skill instruction. It's all from Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
First pitch strike to Zobrist. Then grounded out to Sanchez at second.
Two sliders in pretty much the same spot. And Zobrist looks back at Ron Culpa. Going to call the first one. Certainly are going to call the second one.
One and two the count.
They're the minor league numbers on Eric Johnson. Pretty good. 83 starts, 34 and 23 with an ERA in the low threes. Out of Cal Berkeley. A couple of years ago, he was flying high as a prospect, only take a step back, and sometimes you got to do that to take 2 steps forward. And he just might have done that in the minor leagues this year.
Come on, come on, come on, yes. Nice play, committed, and stayed with it. We have had some excellent, on this road trip, some excellent defense.
This is a sinking line drive as Zobrist hits a high fastball and Melky comes on to make the play.
So here's Moustakas. Struck out. We mentioned him at the plate last night, and what could have been is that's high into center field. Adam Eaton, and quickly 2 gone. Watch this play. He just absolutely hits this ball as hard as he can hit it. Big situation in the game. And watch the play by Alexa. First and third, 1 out. Just a gorgeous play by Ramirez.
At the time it was a 4-1 game. That could have made it a whole lot closer if that ball gets through, and you never know what happens in the inning.
Here's Morales, takes first pitch strike. Kendricks hit a high pop up in left field. Melky was fighting that sun all the way. Finally stayed with it and made the catch as that curveball low and in. Three and one. Make him swing the bat. Alexei's got him. And another nice 1-2-3 inning. That's 7 in a row retired by young Eric Johnson.
And continue to do the things you love doing. Visit Athletico.com and start defining your pain-free inner athlete today. Athletico, the official physical therapy provider of the Chicago White Sox. Athletico, better for every body. So we head into the top of the 5th inning. Melky's going to lead it off. It's going to be Cabrera, Garcia, and LaRoche. That threesome had a couple of hits and a walk and 2 runs scored when they led off the top of the 3rd. But this time they're facing Chris Young. That one misses out of the zone. Johnny Cueto had just yet another tough outing for Kansas City, who got him as a #1 starter. Hasn't worked out that way. Went 3 innings, gave up 5 runs on 7 hits with a couple of walks and 4 strikeouts. And quickly, Chris Young has fallen behind 2-0. Outfield playing him a step toward left center field. And it's now 3-0. So Melky with a walk and a base hit, along with a run scored. Looks at a fastball up and out of the zone, so he's going to take a walk.
Perfect on the afternoon. 2 walks, a single, a run scored. And here is Avi. Avi, a 2-run single. That was in the 1st. Then he walked and scored in the 3rd. Wind has died down a little bit now. It was blowing briskly out from right to left. Oh, he just missed it. Oh, he just missed it.
That gives you an idea of exactly how strong that wind is, as Orlando started to set up for that fly ball probably 40-50 feet shy of the wall. And that one got way up in the air, and Orlando just kept on backpedaling. See Orlando there, he thinks he's got it. He just keeps on going back and back and back, and finally halfway on the track he made the catch, and the flags now blowing very stiffly toward left center field.
They're not anywhere close to what they were earlier. They were rigid. As here is LaRoche, had an RBI single. And that ball hit hard, but Dyson is back.
This is absolutely an ideal park for Chris Young, only in that he has always been and is still a fly ball pitcher, because he throws mostly high fastballs. So 4 of the 5 outs in this one have been fly balls. He usually does that, and this is a huge park normally, although playing a little smaller today.
And there's a base hit. So Michael with his first base hit in a White Sox uniform.
Keeps the inning alive. He gets a fastball that's a little above thigh high and takes it right back up the middle.
And here's Bradley, the strikeout and the sacrifice fly. Takes that pitch down low. Toronto leading Baltimore 6-3. Bautista, a homer, 33. Tulowitzki, number 17, and Pilar, number 10. Donaldson, another double. He has 38 of them. And that's foul back, and that's going to be in the seats. Donaldson now 113 RBIs. Get yourself a knock right here, Rob.
That's what it looks like in the East. The Yankees holding as close as they possibly can to the red-hot Blue Jays. The Rays 10 back. The Orioles have been sinking, and the Red Sox just trying to finish the season.
Minnesota leading Houston 2-0. Home runs by Dozier, number 27, and Eduardo Escobar, number 9. Two on, two out, 2-2 the count. Yes, he did. We're halfway home. We lead at 5-1. In the bottom of the 5th inning in a 5-1 good guy lead. Alex Gordon 0 for 1 popped up to Mike Holt at third base.
And Eric continues to pump strikes.
Change up down. Washington leading Atlanta 8-4. Bryce Harper, number 34, is gone deep.
One of the biggest stories in the National League is a guy we associate with defense, and that's Nolan Arenado from Colorado. Not only hit 36 home runs, but he's homered in 6 straight games, which is an all-time Rockies record. They've had some bombers.
Well, he is terrific player. Fun to watch both ways, lumber and leather.
He and Carlos Gonzalez are tied for the National League lead with 36 home runs.
And a full count. And there's a base hit. That's the first base runner they've had since the home run by Perez. Only their second hit.
Gordon is starting 2 games in a row, and that's a good sign for Kansas City because he was playing every other day since coming back from a severe groin strain. Kept him out for 47 games, and he's one of the guys that makes this offense and defense tick.
So here is Perez. Breaking ball, no.
He got a high fastball when he came up in the second inning and took it out over the right center field wall.
Yankees leading Tampa Bay 5-4. Alex Rodriguez is at number 28. Brian McCann is at number 25. Game in the top of the 8th inning. If you're just joining us, we scored 3 in the first, 2 in the third. Two and two.
That was a good slider low and out of the zone. And he had Perez expanding that zone. No contact at all. But a man who is no stranger to grounding into double plays. Perez has grounded into 21 of them. Only Morales has grounded into more.
He gone. Just the second strikeout for Eric.
This is a good fastball for a strike. It's down. Look at our Honda pitch tracks and see where it pops up. Pretty strong numbers for Eric Johnson, and this is first Major League start this year.
And here's Orlando. Paolo went out to right field.
Good homestand for Orlando. 462, 6 for 13 with a couple of doubles, a triple, a home run, and 2 driven in.
0-2 the count.
What's been good about Eric today, not only is he working quickly, but he's throwing good pitcher's strikes. He's been in the zone, but he's very rarely used the middle of the plate. And that's with any of his 4 pitches. He's thrown both the slider and the curveball today, which is unusual to have 2 good ones in the same day.
He gone. 2 down. So here is Infante.
On the pitch tracks, we'll show you a fastball. Perfect spot, low and away, knee high on the outside corner.
Infante grounded out 3-1. His first trip. Chris Bryant has homered. That is his 23rd. 1-1 tie with Arizona, 5th inning at Wrigley. That ball hit well, but we got a man there. He hauls it in. It'll retire the side. Leadoff single by Alex Gordon. That's the first man they have stranded, and we lead it 5-1. This episode of That Sports Thing with Chris Mars. It's actors and comedians getting all sport-ish. Check out That Sports Thing, presented by Miller Lite. New episodes available at csnchicago.com. Sanchez then back to the top of the order. Carlos 0 for 2. Two and 0. Count evens at 2.
Hard throwing Luke Hochevar loosening up, and they drafted #1 in the country, thinking that he would blossom as a starting pitcher. It didn't work out. Now he's done a good job out of the pen.
That's in the center field right at Dyson.
Want to know where to find bacon on a stick when you're at U.S. Cellular Field? You want to track the Red Line trains after attending the game? Interested in a seat upgrade? Download MLB.com Ballpark, the official U.S. Cellular Field Ballpark app for iPhone and Android smartphones. Visit whitesox.com/ballpark app to learn more.
Adam 1 for 3, but it was a good way to start the ball game off. Just a bullet single off Johnny Cueto. He came around to score. We put a quick 3 spot on the board. 2-1. That evens it. That ball hit into deep right center field. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Just a bullet out of here. Home run number 12. And it's a 6-1 Sox lead.
12 and 43 on the power numbers. A forward home run replay. And this one, a line drive rocket. 12 home runs for Adam Eaton.
Starts him off with a changeup, and of course with that home run by Adam, Alex Nellius family, Christine O'Reilly, and White Sox Charities hook up again in loving memory of Ursula. Pokes that one into left field. Orlando makes the play. Lexi now 2 for 4. And with one in, 2 out, here's Abreu, who's 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the first, and he also scored. Big hack. Six 9-0 for us, 1-2-0 for them. We had a stranded 6. They had a stranded 1. And the count moves to 1-2. Mets leading the Marlins 3-2, bottom of the 8th down in Florida. And that's 75 and 60 coming into the day.
Sox trying to do something they haven't done in over 2 years, and that's sweep the Royals in Kansas City. Last time they swept them in a 3-game series, August of 2013. Lately has not been pretty in this ballpark.
Two and two. That Cleveland 4-0 lead now over the Tigers. Francisco Lindor. 2-run triple off Verlander. Started scoring off for him. That young man can play. Fisted him, and it's going to hang up. But the home run by Adam Eaton, number 12, to the bottom of the 6th inning, leading 6-1.
fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Chicago Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself on an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. There's Southpaw. Handsome devil.
Kansas City's half of the sixth inning. It'll be Dyson, then back to the top of the order with Escobar and Zobrist to face Eric Johnson.
Usually you have to watch the bunt from Dyson. I'm not sure if he would try it here.
Well, they need
base runners.
They need base runners. This would be a perfect time for him to try to get home, starting the inning off. On the other hand, he's going to start it off with a home run.
That one was a blast.
And then that was a hanger.
He would only hit one home run all year.
He hung it and he hurt it.
Well, we certainly wish that Dyson had been thinking about a bunt. Our Ford home run replay. That ball up in the zone, letter high. And wind or no wind, that's gone in an instant.
So Escobar takes first pitch strike. He had made many mistakes. Even that pitch that Perez hit out opposite field, that was not what you call a bad mistake. That was a bad mistake there. That ball into center field. 1 out. So here's Zobrist, grounded to second, and then he lined out. Nice catch by Cabrera in left field.
You'd have to think, regardless of the outcome of this particular performance, Johnson will have done a good job today, because he's facing a very good baseball team on a red-hot afternoon for baseball, and he's held them so far to 3 hits.
Well, I could see a change in him in the first inning from what we saw last year.
He just came out aggressive, pretty much saying, look, this is what I have. It's going to be in the strike zone. See if you can hit it. And they couldn't.
That's the way he was. And then last year in his 5 starts, he was the antithesis of that. He was 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, 3-2, ball 4.
Yeah, looked very tentative. A radical departure from what we had seen before, but apparently this year in AAA, it was 2 years ago. Eric Johnson, aggressive, always in the zone and dominating people.
First pitch strike to Moustakas has struck out and gone out to center field. Well, I don't care what league, there's another strike that you're pitching in. When you play a whole year there and you are that league's pitcher of the year, you've had a pretty good season. And he just happened to be just AAA. Curveball.
Moustakas this year has come out and had overall his best year, and it really started in the postseason last year. He didn't have a great year last year. He had 15 home runs during the season, which was okay. But he had 5 more postseason home runs. And that's where he really became a force, and I think he really started to believe that he could do it.
It's 6-3.
That one was a bomb.
Now, we talked about it yesterday. That exhibition he put on the BP almost hit that Commerce Bank sign out there over all the bleachers in right field.
16th home run. He's driven in 60. He's just coming back from a bad hamstring. Our Ford home run replay. That was a fastball. It was over the middle of the plate. And he took it way back there in the foliage.
And Kendrys Morales looking to get in on the long ball. He's 0 for 2. And there is a changeup that's going to go for a single.
A whole lot of other right fielders in this league where that's a 2-base hit. And a whole lot of other base runners where they might have tried to extend that, but Ozzie got to the ball very quickly, fired it back in on the money. And that's going to bring Don Cooper out from the dugout. And most likely that's going to start the bullpen to work. As you can see, 19 pitches in the third and the fifth. Not too bad. In fact, not bad at all. And 82 in total. But 3 of them went out of the ballpark. 3 of the 5 hits have been home runs.
2 fastballs, a hanging curveball, and a high changeup.
Big Petrichka loosening in the pen, and he's getting ready in a hurry.
Well, Eric had a long season down at Charlotte, and it is a very hot and humid day. It's humid out there on that field. And here's Alex Gordon. He's 1 for 2. Takes first pitch, strike. Change up, way out in front. And the count 0-2. There's the big man in the scheme of things right here. Curveball.
Especially with Salvador Perez in the on-deck circle.
That's why this is a big man.
And he would be representing the tying run. Both bullpens now up and going.
Watch out. Hopefully he's okay.
I think that got a piece of him on the mound. And we've talked about the bats flying. It got him off the left arm, it appears. Head of the bat goes right at Eric, and it did indeed get him. The question is, did it get him with the sharp part of the bat?
He blocked it.
Yeah, fortunately he blocked it, got his hands up. They're going to take a look at that play at first base because it appeared that they got him. Gordon's had a bad groin. He doesn't run near as well as he usually does, and Alexi makes a terrific play. And they will take a look at it once again. Well, the fact that he was able to get his arms up and knock the bat down before it got a good piece of him, you breathe a huge sigh of relief.
Well, let's check out the play again at first base.
He's out.
He's out.
He looked out from up here at the beginning. He was called safe by Larry Vanover.
What a play by Alexa. He did not quit on it. He did not give up on it. And he knew who was running.
Normally you don't get Gordon on that, but he's running about 75% these days.
So we'll see what New York says.
We'll watch the bat as it comes at Eric Johnson. He's able to get both arms up before it gets to him, or it gets to either his head or his trunk.
He's out, and that'll retire the side. So we'll go to the 7th. It's a 6-3 Sox lead.
.38th game. He's 1-1. His ERA .335. 42 strikeouts and 40 in the third. He made a very smooth transition a couple of years ago from the starting rotation to the bullpen. He was overwhelming. And then he got hurt, had to have surgery. And Hochevar, who had all kinds of promise at one point as a starter, now has found a new career and missed all of last year, recovering from that surgery.
So it's the top of the 7th. 6-9-0 for us, 3-5-0 for them. It'll be Cabrera, who has walked twice, singled, and also scored a run. Takes first pitch strike. That one at 95. Take another look at this broken bat and Eric Johnson.
Fortunate part was that the sharp part of that head of the bat did not get to him, and he was able to block it off before it got into his body or hit him in the head.
Well, they've got to do something. In all the years that I played, all the years other than watching this, I never saw a bat made out of ash almost hit a pitcher in the head.
No, and fly as far into the seats as
no, I've never seen it. I mean, they've got to do
these maple
something.
bats have flown this year.
It's got to be the grip. You got to put on a grip that will go up high enough, because there's a strike, that when that bat explodes like that, that grip will take it and it'll knock it straight down. The grip is weightless. Players would not notice anything. In fact, it'd give them a better grip on them with the rosin and their gloves. Fouls that one back. Plus, it would even help when the bat on changeups, especially when guys swing, get out there so far, and the bat slips out of their hands. It would help in that scenario as well. Once again, the payoff pitch. That's some short arm sway right there by Melky. Big gap in right center. Now wind's picked up again, blowing from right to left. And just got a piece of that one. And another foul ball. We have seen an inordinate amount of foul balls in the seats today. And once again, the 3-2. That ball hit into left center field. Dyson.
Well, he got a great break on that ball as the ball was slicing away from him. Orlando gave ground, which is what he should do, and allowed Dyson to come across and take it. Well hit ball by Melky, who once again hits it hard, only to come away with a fly out to center field.
Javi, 2-run single in the first. He walked and scored in the third. Then he just missed one in the fifth. Takes it up, takes a strike. And that ball hit high and deep into right field. It's over. Now that wind knocking it down. 2 out.
Join the 2015 Sox Pride Club for exclusive monthly ticket opportunities featuring locked-in seating locations along with game day audio, membership gifts, and much more, all for just $29.95. Visit SoxPrideClub.com to join today.
The Roche 1 for 3 and picked up an RBI, his 44th. Shift is on. Curveball, good one. He's got a good hook.
Pretty amazing that Hochevar has not walked the left-hand hitter since the All-Star break. So he's come all the way back from that surgery.
Oh, 2. Carl Boston, our first base coach, knows when Adam comes to the plate, you better hang loose.
Hochevar a couple of years ago, 5-2 with a 1.92 ERA in his first year in the bullpen. First full year in the pen.
Angels leading Texas 2-0. game in the bottom of the second. Mike Trout has homered, his 34th. Curveball. And that'll retire the side. 7th inning stretch, we lead it 6-3.
Get a new pitcher coming in the ball game, and it is Jake Petrichka for the 56th time. He's 4-3. His ERA 3.86. We saw him very briefly in the ball game last night. Faced one hitter, gave up a hit. Unfortunately, that run scored. So Jake comes on, protecting a 3-run lead as we move into the bottom of the 7th inning.
Perez, Orlando, and Infante, the scheduled hitters. Outfield for the most part straight up. Bit of a gap out there in right center. And that first pitch, he didn't want to do that. He never had a chance.
That got him above the belt, right around the rib and kidney area, and that one smarts. He had a padded lead elbow, but he couldn't get it back in time. Brewers hit for just the 4th time this year. That is the first man that Jake has hit all year.
So here is Paulo Orlando. Paulo's 0 for 2. He's gone out to right, and he has struck out. Double-barreled activity for our guys.
Don Cooper's coming out because all 3 pitches have sailed high and inside to the right-hander. That's really the tip-off that you're opening up too soon. You're not keeping the weight over the back leg, and that front shoulder is flying open, meaning your arm can't catch up. And that's why the ball goes up and in to right-handers, up and away to left-handers. And it's Dan Jennings and Matt Albers.
Watch out. Three and 0.
4th straight pitch in approximately the same area. He can't believe it either.
Well, he's having some little mental chaos out there right now. There's one.
Well, if you're Orlando, you can pretty much guarantee a fastball.
There's 2. And you could also pretty much guarantee from Ned Yost to take some. Trailing by 3 here in the bottom of the 7th. Short lead by Perez. And that's trouble. We got problems in this Kansas City club, even trailing 6-1. It is now 6-3, but they got the tying run coming to the plate.
They're seeing a lot of pitches inside. Orlando looking for a fastball in, takes it down the line. That's going to be it for Jake, who was on yesterday, did not retire anybody. On this afternoon, didn't retire anybody. So it's been a couple of tough outings for him. And Matt Albers comes in. Those Albers walks in. We'll step out and be back after these messages. Is with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat brings you baseball wherever you are with live look-ins, highlights, replay previews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcast, and the MLB.TV game of the day, as well as more. Download the MLB.com at Bat on your smartphone and tablet now. Our Honda call to the pen is Matt Albers, who inherits a problem. Runners at second and third, nobody out. It still is, however, a 3-run lead. He's out for the 20th time. He's 2-0. His ERA 1.63. He is a very good sinker baller, and he's got to face Eric Hosmer as Infante is pulled back, and Hosmer comes out a pinch hit.
Hosmer 1 for 6 in this series, had an infield single last night.
Hosmer, who plays most every day, 132 games, is 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter.
A change up, missed. A good play by Oak.
That one almost slipped out of
Yes, it did.
LaRoche's glove as it rolled up to the top, but he was able to hold on to it.
And a good pitch by Matt Albers, and here's Dyson. He's 1 for 2. He had a bullet home run out of here. Leading off last inning. Got a hanger and didn't miss it.
Perez can't run on that as Olt is coming straight in. He'd have been dead at the plate by plenty.
Jerry Dyson against us plays like an all-star.
Dyson, one of the most popular players on this team. Guy doesn't get a lot of at-bats, but steals a lot of bases.
Well, he's 0 for 4 lifetime against Albers, but he's got the catbird seat here. It was too open. Everybody's safe. And it's a 6-4 ball game.
Second run batted into the game for Dyson. It's now a 2-run game, and as soon as this ball got by Albers, there was absolutely no chance to get him at first base. Even though Albers was getting over there quickly, did the best he could possibly do, Dyson is just that fast. And here comes Don Cooper. They're going to talk about what they want to do if Dyson inevitably takes off and tries to steal second.
If he does not do that, you got to scoop. Kansas City special right there by Dyson. Another infield hit. They had that run they scored last night in the 8th inning. They had 4 infield hits.
Last year they had 158 infield hits. That was tied for 3rd in the American League. Seemed like they had 258 infield hits.
It seems like they had most of those hits against us.
Yeah.
So here is Escobar, 0 for 3. Dyson gets the biggest lead of anybody in this league.
Well, he is way out there. 92% success rate. 23-2 this year.
That's high in center field. That's going to get everybody advancing. And it's a 6-5 ball game.
Escobar knew that Albers is a sinker ball pitcher, so he's waiting for something just above thigh high, anything that he could hit in the air. His 5th sacrifice fly of the year.
And here's Zobrist. Zobrist 0 for 3. Takes first pitch strike. He has faced Matt 8 times and has a couple of hits. We led it 5-1, then we led it 6-1. It is now 6-5. That change up. $38,902. That is high into right center field. We got a man there, and that'll retire the side, but not before that infield single by Dyson does some damage, and we lead it by 1. Sox, Bears, and all your favorite teams, including breaking news, highlights, and more. That's Sportsnet Central tonight at 6:30, 10, 10:30, and midnight on Comcast Sportsnet.
Christian Colon takes over at second base as Infante was lifted. And Franklin Morales, who we saw last night, he came on for an inning last night, gave up a hit, struck out 1. And he comes into this one on for the 58th time. 3-1 ERA, 2.09. Opponents hitting just 199 against them. Pretty strong numbers. It's a guy who came in with Colorado Rockies back in 2002, signed as a 16-year-old. Was a starting pitcher for a long time before finding a home in the Kansas City pen.
Might behoove us to get another run or two. Here's Mike Olt. He is 1 for 3. Singled in the center field as he takes first pitch strike. That wind picked up again, blowing briskly out to left.
Get one up in the air to left field, and most likely it's going to blow out of here. Right field's going to knock it down.
Right at the bottom of the zone. And there they shot that boy, Mike. So Mike Mazza and his crew, they're picked to click. In his White Sox debut, 2 for 4. And here's Brantley. He's 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. That was a nice approach he had right there on his left-hander. And that's not good. One out.
Rob stabs at this one and drops the head of the bat, neither of which is particularly good, and he pops out to Moustakas.
One thing about Kansas City, you give them a chance to execute, and they usually take it.
Been an unusual series for them. They've made a couple of outfield mistakes on throws, which they never do.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, just absolute Mickey Mouse throws. That's the Junior Chamber of Commerce playing the Optimus throws right there.
I'd be able to understand Zobrist a bit because he's an infielder by trade, but
no.
But Kane,
no.
Oh.
No, it's even Zobrist. He's too good a player to make that kind of. That's just a brain cramp. And Kane, same thing. First and 30. Carlos. He's 0 for 3. He's due. Six, 10-0 for us, 5-7-0 for them in the finale of this 3-game set and the finale of the 6-game road trip. Got a pretty good pitch hit right there and underneath it. We lost the first 2 starting out at Target Field and won the finale. And we won the first 2 here, so 3 in a row. And leading here in the 8th inning, trying to sweep. Not good. We go to the bottom of the 8th, still leading by 1. Chuck Garfien is not there. We'll have our Chris Boat.
And Zach Duke comes into the ball game. It's been Johnson, Petrichka, Albers, and now Duke. Zach on for the 61st time. He's 3-5. His ERA 3.57. And he's going to take a look at Moustakas, Morales, who you'd rather face from the right side, and Gordon, the left hand, before Perez and Orlando come up.
Moustakas takes the breaking ball low and away. He's 1 for 3, and it was a big one. Long home run. Number 16 for him, RBI number 60. And that's trouble if it's fair. Get foul. It will. Thank you. One and one to count.
I think the wind helped this one also because it's pushing everything toward the left field corner, and that one hugging the line before finally drifting foul. That's a tying run, standing on second base if it's a few feet to the right.
Almost another Kansas City special. Big sweeper, and the count 1-2. Yanks that one foul. He gone. Fastball.
Swung right through it.
He didn't even hit the ball, and they're throwing the ball out of play.
I think Brian Knight got hit with the throw somehow at second base.
So that's big enough to take it out. It's amazing.
Who knows? Maybe there's some blue on the ball.
Yeah. Here's Morales. Kendrys 1 for 3. That one looks like he got a piece of Ron Culpa. Meanwhile, 1-1. Kendrys has faced Zach Duke 4 times, and he's drawn a collar. And while we have a moment, I want to send out a big White Sox hello and congratulations to Pocky Kelly's husband Brian on their victory over Texas last night, 38-3. Big hack.
Even if you're an umpire, you have to be aware. And after the strikeout, throw to Mike Olds. This part of it's good. This part, not so good for Brian Knight. Ooh, yeah, not so good. So he threw out the offending baseball.
He go. He is now 0 for 5 lifetime against Zach. 2 down. And another good job by Matt Albers.
Well, Matt Albers once again coming out of the bullpen in a really tough jam. Able to keep the lead, which is what you want to do in that situation. And a sacrifice fly. The fly out of Zobrist with the speedster in scoring position.
Well, if Dyson doesn't squid it right off the end of the bat and get that Kansas City special infield single. There is breaking ball strike to Alex Gordon, who's 1 for 3. And Alexei made a beautiful play to get him, a big play back in the 6th inning. And that play happened to save a run. Going to the count. Now they're going to come inside with a fastball. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. He gone. Zach Duke comes on, punches out the side. We'll go to the 9th leading 6-5.
By Miller Lite. Here's our Miller moment, and it came early in this one in a big 3-run first. Avi comes up, takes it by a diving Escobar, a 2-run score. The 2nd and 3rd run of the 1st inning. Johnny Cueto had a tough day, and largely because of that. So we got a new pitcher coming in, and it is Ryan Madson on for the 56th time. He's 1-2 his ERA, below 2.5. He's been very good. See left-handers hitting nothing against him overall. Hitters hitting .207. That's a terrific body of work this year for Ryan Madson.
Well, he's one of those feel-good stories. Coming back from. There's a strike. Adam, he was 2 for 4 with a homer. His 12th. Coming in the 6th inning. And overcoming some injuries. A lot of them. Strained ligament in his right hand, strained left oblique, strained right shoulder, broken big toe, right hand contusion, recovery from Tommy John surgery. He's had his.
That's a battle.
He's had. Oh, look at this. This is a Kansas City special. Yes, it is. So he's going to make the turn. Now Gordon with the throw, not in time. The leadoff double. That's his 24th two-bagger.
Third hit of the day for Adam Eaton, who's been just about as hot as anybody in this lineup as he slices one just fair. A triple shy of the cycle.
So here comes one of our hot bats, Alexei. A double, a single. He's 2 for 4 in this game. 8 for 13 in the series with a homer and 5 RBIs. But he's got his job to do right here. You got Moustakas in on the grass at third.
Somehow, if you take a gamble and you bring a guy with some experience into spring training with no guarantees, it works out pretty well. Ryan Madson had missed the last 3 years, and here he is.
Feel good story. I say trying to shove it right. But a big swing on it. Again, trying to move it to the right side. Nice catch. Handler his glove. Funny little double look right there. Quick look, double look by Madson. He's a big man, 6'6", 225. And another good effort by Alexei. Big gap out there in left center. Out and around that one. That one at 85. Just joining us, we scored 3 in the first. They scored 1 in the second. We scored 2 in the third. We scored 1 in the sixth. They scored 2 in the sixth and 2 in the seventh. Checks it up. And Ron Couples had a good game behind the plate. They only missed that one pitch he called out Adam Eaton on. That was meaningful. And that was good. That's a really good at bat by Alexei. Job well done. Battled him and battled him and battled him and finally got it. Got it done.
I was going to bring the infield in. Perfect position to hit for Jose.
And everybody in the dugout is going to bring them up to give Alexei a high five. So here There's Abreu, 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. High in the center field. Adam is going to give it a go. And he's going to. Dyson can't throw, but he's going to make it easy. And a big RBI, big run. It is 7-5. Thanks to that at bat by Alexei.
That's the 3rd run scored by Adam Eaton, who does have a habit when he gets on of coming around and scoring. So good execution on the part of Ramirez and Abreu, and there's a big insurance run.
Well, it just so happens that when Adam Eaton is swinging it bat well, we seem to win. Chopper. And that'll be a base hit for Melky. He's now 2 for 3 with a couple of walks and a run scored.
The time he hit the ball the hardest was the line drive into left center field. That was the only time that he has been retired today, as he'll leave this game for a pinch runner. It's Trace Thompson who will go in defensively.
So here's Javi. Big 2-run single in the first. He walked and scored in the 3rd. Just missed hitting one out of here in the 5th. Then he went out to right in the 7th. Seven 12-0 for our guys. 5-7-0 for their guys. Checks it up, takes a strike. Boy, well-attended 3-game series. Had 36,953 on Friday. Last night we had 37,827, and today 38,902. Find that gap out there in left center, Javi.
Trace started to take off and then stopped.
One and two the count. And just get a piece of it. Schedule hitters for them in the bottom of the 9th. Salvador Perez, Paulo Orlando, Christian Colon. Trace, good lead.
There was an example. If Morales keeps the glove on, it's going to be very close at first base as Trace takes off and then trips, but able to get the left hand in, the right hand in rather.
Perez very good at keeping the ball in the vicinity. Very good at everything. The only thing he can do is run.
But he's able to take control of the pitching staff and
everything. He does everything.
The guys
good.
Along.
Everything.
And that's been since he put on Kansas City uniform in the low minor leagues. He's been very much in control of everything.
There goes Chase on the 3-2. That pitch is foul. Yeah, he can do everything except run. Tee him up right here, Avi. And that's ball 4. So another real good at bat. And here comes Adam. Adam 1 for 4 with an RBI single back in the 3rd inning. Don't stop now, boys. Pick up another one. Nope. But we do get one. And we're going to the bottom of the 9th, leading by 2.
Comes off the bat of Adam Eaton in the 6th inning. He hits a line drive rocket out of the ballpark. His 12th home run, his 43rd driven in, and one of his 3 hits today. So David Robertson comes in the ball game, and he's going to try to nail it down. On for the 51st time. He's looking for save number 29. It'll be his 35th attempt. His ERA 2.5, his record 6-3, and 73 strikeouts in 54 innings to go with just 11 walks. Trace Thompson, who came on, stays in the game, and he'll play left field.
Salvador Perez will lead it off for them. He is 1 for 2 with a homer. He also was hit by a pitch and scored. Rondo on deck. All right, let's get the first one. Baby. Outfield straight up, spread out. And he's going after that fastball, fouls it into the seats.
That was a very good pitcher's pitch. Something you usually don't go after on the first pitch.
Well, you know, yeah, but that's part of their. These guys as a club have as good a plate coverage as any team in the league, probably in baseball. That's one reason they don't strike out. 0-2. By far the fewest strikeouts in Major League Baseball. The Kansas City Royals. Very few of their guys have the same swings on 0-2 as they do on 2-0.
No, they all have very good approaches, and they all just try to put the bat on the ball.
1-2 pitch. Ball, a curveball hit hard, but we got a man there. That's the hang woofum for Perez.
They've been not happy with the fact that he got that breaking ball rolling. Didn't break near as sharply as he would like. It was crushed, but Trace Thompson, right spot.
Well, Salvador gets it up. It's a 7-6 ball game.
That was long gone.
So here's Paolo. Paolo has gone out to right, struck out, and doubled and scored. And the funny thing about it, Todd Steverson, our hitting coach, tries to get our guys to take that approach. Talks to them.
Depends on the guys you're talking to.
That is exactly right.
Dale Swaim is the hitting coach with Kansas City. It seems to have worked pretty well there.
Two and one to count.
But the Sox offense in this series has been very good.
Everything's been good. The leather has been short of sensation. That series we played Minnesota, we played well too. Just didn't hit very well. Got shut out 3-0. And there's a little soft looper. 2 down. This is actually, this road trip has been the way that we expected this club to play coming out of spring training.
Exactly. Meaningful home runs. You expected this team to hit home runs that were going to help the team score, and then the defense was supposed to be there. We knew the starting pitching was going to be good, and the starting pitching has been very good.
Yeah, I mean, this is the way that we expected this club to play.
And our bullpen, probably the last 2.5 months, has been better than anybody's bullpen around.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been perplexing, confounding. Cologne. 2 out, 1-1 to count. 7-12-0 for us, 5-7-0 for them. It's foul right back below us. If you're just tuning in, Eric Johnson was impressive. Young man went out there, went 6 innings, gave up 3 solo homers. Didn't walk anybody, had 3 strikes, but he was impressive. He came right at him from the get-go, first innings, like he was 2 years ago. A little looper. When this ball comes down, the sweep is here. As we come in here and sweep these Royals.
First time
in 2 years. And we come home going on a tough road trip where we were a combined 1-12 coming into these 2 ballparks at Target Field and Kauffman Stadium. And again, Eric Johnson today, really impressive.
I thought he was terrific. He came out with an attitude that I'm going to show you the best I have. If you can hit it, that's okay, but I'm not going to walk myself into trouble. And he didn't. He did give up 3 solo home runs. He gave up 2 of them in the 6th inning. It was a very warm day to pitch. He certainly outpitched Johnny Cueto, who only went 3. But he didn't walk